65 post-game call-in show with Ashley Hodge. We got Emory on the board. We got Adam Flagler coming in here in a few minutes and here to take your calls. Talk about the game today. What a game it was. 81-72. The Bears beat Texas for the 13th time in the last 15 tries. They've really dominated the University of Texas in basketball for quite a few years now, and this was another one at home. We had to have it, and the Bears took care of business. Texas played really well. First of all, kudos to them. They came out of the gate strong. They just had no answer for Baylor's 77-54 run after they started the game 18-4. So, the Bears got themselves down 18-4 and dug themselves a pretty big hole. But just terrific play from that point forward. Really loved the defense, especially from that, point where they were down 18-4 early in the game. Emory, what'd you see? You were watching in the studio. What was your perspective watching on television?
Yeah, not gonna lie. Whenever they hit that 16-4 run at the very beginning,
Right.
I was a little worried. What are we getting ourselves into? And then Keontae goes down, and
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what I'm thinking. But the way that we were able to bounce back, I mean, you had some key players step up like Bridges and Dale Bonner, who huge fan. I know he hadn't been getting those minutes, but I'm a big Dale Bonner guy. But I mean, you see in their shooting splits, just the impact that whenever they're on, they can make.
Yeah.
I mean, just throughout the whole game, very good win. Very, very excited.
Yeah,
about it.
the bench play was terrific. You got Langston Love with 11 points off the bench. You got Dale Bonner with 13. You got Jonathan Chamachachua with 5. You had Flo Thamba with a double-double. He started rough. I think they took him out after he missed the dunk. Dylan Dessou got a couple threes and scored 8 early points, and Flo was covering them. I'm not saying those were all Flo's fault, but he ends up with 6 turnovers, a few turnovers early. But he really responded in a tremendous way, ends up with 12 points and 12 rebounds. Terrific performance from him. LJ Cryer was solid. He didn't have his best shooting day today, but he did a good job assisting, running the offense. So did Adam Flagler, similar situation. Adam's going to be coming in here in a little bit. 14 points for Adam, 4 assists, only 2 turnovers. I thought LJ and Adam played terrific defense. I thought everybody on our team played great defense, especially after that 18-4 run. I want to say, was that 18-4 at the first media? Or maybe close. I'm going to look that up because
it was something like that. It was
okay. It was second media. Okay, so it was 18-4 at like the 11:34 mark after Jabari Rice hits a free throw, and so you're down a big hole, but then to hold Texas to only 54 points, and there was a lot of possessions in this game, so it's under 1 point per possession, which is terrific to do to a top 10 team, whether it's on the road or at home. Just a great win for Baylor. And Baylor's the only home team so far that has won their game in the Big 12. The other 3 games that are final were all, road teams. Kansas State beats Oklahoma State. Texas Tech loses to TCU at the end. And then Iowa State surprisingly drops a game to Oklahoma. Iowa State's struggling. Oklahoma State and Iowa State are really going through struggles here in February. And those are the 2 next opponents for the Bears. So big opportunity to finish the season with 3 wins in a row. Big road game Monday night against Oklahoma State. That would be a huge win. And then take care of business to finish the season out against Iowa State next Saturday. This is a call-in show. Emory, I've heard a rumor that call-in shows are better with calls. 254-339-1122 is the number. Please call with your comments, your questions. We'll take them. And then when Adam gets here, we'll have Adam answer questions as well. Do we have a call already?
Yeah, we got a Kent from Austin, Texas.
Hey, Kent. How's it going? Welcome to the Sikkim 365 post-game call-in show with Ashley Hodge. Emory on the board.
Hey, so Adam's not there yet, correct?
Not there yet. He's coming any minute.
Okay. No worries. Well, when he gets there, just tell him how grateful we are for him, for me. Just recent grad here in Austin currently, and just grew up with we got to Baylor, and Manu LeCompte, Jake Lindsey were there. Then we had the Mackay years, and then it's been cool to have guys like Adam and all the studs these past couple years. But definitely tell him I'm grateful for him.
I will.
But as far as questions go, I guess, going off today, what would you, I guess, just talk about like the emergence of Dale Bonner, like what the heck, that was awesome. And then just what, we gain with Dale, and then what the loss of Key means. I mean, obviously we don't know for how long he's out, but yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, hopefully just an ankle sprain. I was listening to the post game on my way back to the studio, and they mentioned that he'd been sick in addition to spraining his ankle today. So hopefully we get him back soon. I don't know. Monday might be optimistic. I would assume he's probably going to be out for that game if it's an ankle sprain. So Dale was huge, and Dale has experience. Dale's won a lot of games for us, in the last couple years, and I just think that it's a big deal to have him out there. I mean, he's like a calming influence out there, and certainly terrific defender as we saw today. And if he gives you that offensive production, he's got to play because his defense is an upgrade. I mean, he's a terrific defender, and really gets in passing lanes, creates havoc. You saw he had a couple steals, converted some key baskets during Baylor's run. But yeah, I mentioned in a podcast either with Kendall or maybe one of the post-game podcasts that I did that Dale Bonner was going to win us a game down the stretch, and he certainly was a huge factor for us getting the win. There were other people, it was terrific production across the board. We have 5 guys in double figures. LJ Cryer has 9. Jonathan Chamachacho has 5. But the defense was really encouraging. The defensive rebounding was unbelievable. Texas, I think, has one of the better offensive rebounding teams. Actually, they're not that good at offensive rebounding, but they, the Bears grab 83% of the defensive rebounds. Texas only gets 6 offensive rebounds. I thought that was a key stat. The Bears end up out rebounding Texas 37-25. So even though they turned the ball over 21 times, because of the rebounding, they just gave themselves an opportunity to separate. And then, of course, the other key stat was the Bears get 22 points at the free throw line, and Texas only has 8. So that was key as well.
Yep. Yeah. My buddy and I went to the game at the Moody Center, and that was a tough loss, but definitely cool. You were there. Yeah. Cool atmosphere, but glad we rebounded. Yeah. I guess one more question, if that's all right.
Sure.
Is, I think we all know, like, what our offense entails and like the efficiency numbers and all that right now. Do you think like this emergence of Dale Bonner and just like his presence on the court can potentially just elevate our defense? Because I mean, I feel like that's like the missing piece. Like, and that's, I think, I don't know if you posted it or somebody else, but like that our defense is like, as far as we're going to go in March, like that's the difference between a first weekend exit and a Final Four run, probably.
Yeah, and today was encouraging. Obviously, you dig yourselves a hole, 18-4, but with 12 minutes left in the first half, the next 32 minutes, you hold Texas to 54 points, and like I mentioned in the introduction, there were a lot of possessions in this game. So you hold them to under 1 point per possession. They're really good. They're top 10 team for a reason. That's terrific. So that was encouraging, and I think it should give all Baylor fans a shot of encouragement of what's possible. Being up close, I'm curious to see how it looks on television when I go watch the game later. But it just seemed like we were locked in, man. We were playing so gritty, and just every possession, not giving them easy open looks. Some of the threes they made near the end were tough looks. I mean, they got some stuff at the rim. But, Marcus Carr knocking down a couple threes, they were contested. I thought we just didn't give them anything easy. We did a great job on Jabari Rice. He killed us in Austin. So it was just encouraging all the way around.
Yeah, I think you got to remember, like, this is a 9-point win with this dude knocking down crazy threes and Hunter.
Career game for him.
So these aren't guys snipers either. So
right. We did a good job on Carr. We did a really good job on Timmy Allen until the very end. Timmy got his points near the end, but before that, we just did a great job not letting him get anything easy. Bridges deserves a lot of credit for that. I thought Bridges' defense was tremendous, and his offense was just as good.
Awesome.
17 points, 8 rebounds, 4 blocks, 2 steals. He really stuffed the stat sheet. He was a difference maker out there today.
Cool.
Appreciate the call, Kent.
Well, that's all I got to ask.
Yep. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
254-339-1122 is the number. Call in with your questions. Emory, we have anything else on hold right now?
No, not right now.
Okay, we're waiting until Adam comes in. I'm going to see if there's any questions that are on the chat just specifically about the game, and maybe not for Adam himself.
I will say, anytime LJ can go 1 from 4 from 3 and you still shoot 47% from the 3 as a team, that's a recipe for a win, you would think.
They did a good job on him. They made life tough for Adam too. They really, the focus, scouting report was absolutely focused on taking those 2 away, and I thought that they did a good job. They're real physical on the perimeter. They hold on every every ball screen. Those guards are holding our guards, and that wasn't called much. So it's tough to get open looks against them. They're a veteran team. Teams that are older play better defense. So it's a gritty win. 13 out of 15 against the University of Texas. We got another call?
Yeah, we got Don from Waco.
Hey, what's up, Don? How you doing? Welcome to the postgame call-in show.
Hello, is this me? Am I on?
Yes, sir.
You're on.
Okay, sorry guys. Hey, yeah, you know what? I was kind of excited that they started off very slow, because the last 2 games they have killed the first half. Baylor has, and
Right.
it's like they started off slow. I was thinking, you know what? There's hope that we're going to win this game, because the second half they're going to be lights on. And sure enough, that's what it was. So it's if you go back and trace that, it's been like that. When they start off slow, they actually finish kind of fast, and they start off fast, they finish slow. So it was it was refreshing, and I had all the confidence in the world they'll pull it out the second half, of course. But I think, Ash, I texted you about Bonner, man. That guy, he was all over the freaking court.
Yeah.
And when he came in, I was going, oh crap, because he has been kind of lost, and due to KG playing and everything. But man, he came out and his defense was unbelievable. He was hustling after every single ball, and that's something that was refreshing to see, because we don't see guys like that. Just really going after the ball like he was going after. So that was really cool to see, and those threes that he popped, and then that was cool. But Carr, man, he shot some threes that, like, how in the heck did he make that?
Yeah.
I think you mentioned it with the last caller. It was. It was a great game, man. It was a great game to witness and be a part of.
No doubt about it. Yeah, just some plus-minus numbers to throw out here. Adam Flagler was plus 14. He ends up going 37 minutes today. He's only 5 for 13 from the field, but he was, did a good job taking care of the ball against really tough ball pressure all day. So he's 14 points, only 2 turnovers, 4 assists. And then Dale Bonner comes off the bench. He's plus 10 and ends up with 13 points and 4 assists. And then Langston Love, also off the bench, plays 21 minutes, and he has 10 points, no assists, but no turnovers either. So Langston, gave us some key contributions, hit a couple threes. Those were big. Yeah, just a terrific all-around performance. I think I have to say the player of the game is Jalen Bridges overall, but it's hard to pick. It's you got Dale Bonner. You can certainly make a great argument for Adam Flagler.
Yeah,
I
would right. I would go with Bonner, because Bridges, we know what Bridges gives us day in, day out, and with Bonner coming in, stepping up to the plate and giving us more than what he has been, to me that was the key for us to win the game, because just because of his defense, his tenacity, getting his hands in the passing lanes and just hustling at the balls, that brings a lot of energy to the team, when a player is like that. It's just like, Everyday John doing the same thing when he's in there. He's hustling after every single ball too. So, I would go with Bonner all the way, hands down.
Yeah, it's a good call. I was curious on flow. Thanks, Don, for the call. Appreciate it. Curious on
Yeah.
Flo, as I'm looking over his stats, he didn't have a great game in Austin, but I just remember, like, he just seems like he plays really good against Texas overall. Today's got 12 points, 12 rebounds. Last year, if you remember, when John went down with the injury, he comes in and was huge. He had 12 points and 11 rebounds last year against Texas. And then when we went to Austin, he has 12 points and 6 rebounds, blocked a couple shots. And then the year before, I'm looking at his stats, didn't do too much in our road win, 83-69. And I guess we didn't play him at home the COVID year. So they avoided a loss because they didn't have to play against us at home the COVID year. So it should really be 14 out of 16 is the lesson there. But anyway, yeah, I mean, he's been huge against Texas the last 2 years, and especially in Waco. He's put together 2 really good games. So kudos to Flo for really showing up and giving us big-time production today.
Yep.
254-339-1122. We're waiting on Adam Flagler. He's texted me, said he'll be here soon. This is the post-game show after Baylor's 81-72 win against Texas. Again, 13 out of 15 against the Longhorns. A nice, present as they head to the SEC soon. This is their last time at the Farrell Center, Emory, and they'll have some very fond memories of this game. The day that they got out to the 18-4 lead. It was kind of reminiscent. This was before. Well, I think this is way before your time. Were you here when Texas had the 19-point lead with Shaka back in like 2019? That was before your time, right?
Yeah, I don't believe so.
Yeah. So 2019, they come in. They're up 19 in the second half, and Baylor ends up coming back and winning that game. I think Devontae Bandu is a hero. Jared Butler had a great game. Makai Mason. It was that team the year that we ended up losing to Gonzaga in the round of 32. King McClure, that crowd. Mario Kegler was on that team as well. But that was another heartbreaking loss for him. So not quite like that because that was a 19-point second half lead. But certainly you get up 18-4, you expect that you might have a pretty good chance of winning that game. And they're playing for a Big 12 title. They really needed this game. And, Kansas right now is up 3 against West Virginia. West Virginia's hanging tough, but we probably know how this game's going to go at the end in Allen Fieldhouse. So, Texas needed this, and Baylor said no. So, great win for the Bears. And really, I think, solidifies Baylor in a position to get that 2 seed. And that's really huge. Like, getting a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament, your path is so much easier to get to an Elite 8 than it is if you're on the 3 line or the 4 line. And so if the Bears can, get that 2 seed and really have a good chance to get to Houston, then I think, it's going to be a really fun March.
Yeah, I was telling a friend earlier today that, everyone, obviously the 1 seed is what you want, but I mean, a 2 seed, you can't go wrong with it. Plus it relieves some of the pressure. So, I mean, you can't go wrong with 1 through 4, but, I'm liking where we're sitting if we're a 2 seed.
Yeah, the stats are like pretty amazing. Like it's like 40% if you're a 1 getting to the Final Four. I think it drops to like 27% if you're a 2, and then maybe 13 or 14% if you're a 3. I'm going to try to find that real quick. Again, 254-339-1122 is the number. This is a call-in show. Call-in shows are better with calls. Please call with your questions. Adam Flagler will be here shortly. But odds to get to the Final Four.
But yeah, I mean, being a 2 seed, we saw today, if we have any type of production from that everyday John or Flo Thamba, I mean, this team, it's tough to beat.
Yeah.
It's very tough to beat.
It is interesting. One question I think we're going to get on the message boards quite a bit is, do we think like this team is going to be better playing, let's say Keontae's fine. He comes back. Okay, so it's 41% to get to a Final Four from a 1 seed, 21% from the 2 seed, 12% from the 3, 9% from the 4, and 5% from the 5. So that just shows you how hard it is if you're anything less than a 1 seed. Obviously, that's common sense. The 1 seeds are the better teams, but you also have a much easier draw. If you can get to that Sweet 16 it's 25% of the 1 seeds make the championship game. 16% end up winning the championship. So, I know Baylor's going to have a struggle unless they win out. If they win out, I think they have a really good shot at a 1 seed. But if they can get to that one line, then it just really sets them up, for some really awesome things come the the tourney. And I know, and I'm going to ask Adam this when he gets here, but winning that Big 12 tournament, I think would really be an awesome thing this year. And, so the question I was alluding to is, should we be playing 5 guards? Like, if Keontae comes back, is Dale shown enough today that you're like, okay, I mean, let's ride him, let's see if we can play. Maybe Caleb's the guy that's the odd man out in the rotation, and we go a little smaller. And then we play, 1 big and we rotate, John and Josh and we play Jalen as much as possible and have Langston play that, 4 when he comes in, because he's a bigger guard. These are questions, and certainly today that's what we went with, and it worked out. Partly because Keontae's injured, but I also think maybe it's something we need to consider heavily is being a little bit more guard reliant the rest of the way.
Yeah, so you say that, and I just feel like watching this Bear team, we have struggled with rebounding. So I'm curious, because I've seen murmurs going around on message boards and stuff like that. What are your thoughts on maybe a Flo Everyday John combo or an Everyday John Big O combo? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm not pro.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, maybe John, because John can hit threes,
right.
but I do think if you have 2 guys that can't shoot,
right,
it really bogs down the offense. So
especially with the guards that we have,
yeah.
you got to play the guy.
Yeah, like
the right
you
guys.
see Dell. I mean, they gave him some open looks, and they should have, based on the fact that he hadn't been playing and his offensive stats weren't that good coming into today. But he knocks down 2 of 3. That was huge. Langston Love knocks down 2 of 3 from the 3-point range. Jalen was 1 for 2. So I think Jonathan makes his only 3 that he takes. If you give those guys opportunities from 3, then it spreads the floor, and then you can play a big with them. So I think playing John and Flo or John and Josh could make some sense. But it's going to be hard because, John doesn't move his feet laterally as well as Jalen does. I mean, Jalen's
right.
a much better defender on the perimeter, and I mean, John's a terrific defender when he's healthy, but he's got a little bit of ways to go before he's at that level.
I mean, especially with Keontae being able to play, I mean, you got to I don't see how you can't play 3 guards, but maybe if this were to go, I mean, maybe check it out for these next 2 games.
Right.
Just throw that lineup in and see how it goes, maybe.
Yeah.
Just to test it. I don't know.
Clavon texted me and said we played EJ and Josh together today, and it was a disaster. I mean, he's right. I mean, that was a bad stretch. So, I think they took Flo out. I think it was 10-4 when they took him out, and then it quickly became 18-4. So that didn't work out too well. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear. It's a guards game. We got great guards. I think Del Bonner can give us a lot. He proved that today, and it's good to see him get some of his confidence back and contribute in such a big way. That was huge.
Yep, and in the guard play in the Big 12, I mean, it's just obviously I'm biased, but I just think that it is elite. And so heading into March Madness, I am so excited to see, I mean, really all Big 12 teams, all their guard play going forward.
Yeah,
but
no doubt. All right, I just texted Adam, see where he's at. I was expecting him before this time, but he'll be here shortly, I'm sure. It seems like everyone that I invite to do this, he says walking in now. Okay, so maybe let's do maybe a transition, and we'll get Adam on the headset here. And please give me your calls. We got some questions on the message board for him as well, but let's.
Yeah, we'll transition and then be back whenever he's here.
Sounds good. All right, this is Ashley Hodge. Now I'm joined by Adam Flagler. Adam, what a big win. That's 12 of the last 14 against Texas. And I don't know what your record against them is, but I think you've only lost once to them, right? Yeah. Very satisfying, I'm sure, after that 18-4 run to start the game. You guys went on a 77-54 run after that. You played terrific defense. How are you feeling about this? Were you satisfied with the effort today and what we saw from, especially after the loss of Keontae, and Del Bonner obviously was huge coming off the bench?
Yeah, I was definitely, grateful for the effort for 40 straight minutes. We been struggling in the second half for the past, 3 to 4 games, finishing out games. So it was real pivotal to show that we can play a full 40 minutes and go out there and execute. And, I felt like at the end of the day we were the toughest team, especially with a guy of Keontae's caliber stepping out and having guys step in with Dale and Langston doing well and, continuing to, battle and stay together in the midst of struggle.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a terrific across-the-board performance. I know they were keying. Obviously, scouting report was to take you and LJ away, and you guys didn't get very many clean looks, but you did a good job, taking care of the ball. You played 37 minutes, only 2 turnovers. I thought your defense was outstanding all day. I thought LJ played great defense. Jalen was huge. He was huge on both ends of the court. Flo, he had a rough start, but then he comes back and he gets 12 and 12, 12 points, 12 rebounds. And then, as you mentioned, the bench production was terrific as well. I do need to mention this show is sponsored by James Perry. This is an NIL opportunity for you, and we want to give a shout out to James for generously supporting this. He's an awesome supporter of Baylor basketball. And Drew, his son, was named like the private school offensive player of the year this year in his district. So congratulations to Drew Perry on a great output this year. We got some calls ready, Emery?
Yeah, we got Ryan from Victoria, Texas.
Ryan, welcome to the post-game call-in show. Had to put on the rain jacket for all the Texas tears that are flowing in Austin right now. That was tough, man. 18-4, and then that 77-54 run. I'm sure they thought they had that game in hand, but tough to see that they couldn't quite get over the hump there. What's your question for Adam Flagler?
Yes, sir. Actually, it's Brian, not Ryan.
Oh,
but anyway.
Brian, yeah.
All right. Adam, I've got about 3 questions at the end, but if you'll allow me to shower you with some praise, I'd appreciate it. So, Mr. Flagler, young man, and forgive me if I call you young man or son. You're the same age as my nephews who are at Baylor at this time. So, I appreciate the way that you and your teammates represent Baylor and play for an audience of one. If I could give you any advice whatsoever, anything you could remember from me, just continue to just live for Jesus, honoring him and following him throughout your life. So just wanted to tell you that. And Adam, I really enjoy watching you play, embracing your role this year. You've always had scoring, but I like how you become a Big 12 point guard. And obviously you're in a long line of great Baylor point guards. I enjoy watching basketball and seeing floor generals, and you're doing such a great job of that. I'm waiting for you to have a double-double, and I know it's possible, man, so I'm just waiting for the assists to fly.
Definitely.
Real quickly, though, you have a former Baylor point guard that knows a lot about being a floor general and assist man that's on your staff right now. So 2 of the questions I want to ask pertain to that, and how is it learning from Tweety Carter, and specifically, what has he taught you about finding your teammates for baskets?
I just want to start off by saying thank you, for your words and your encouragement, and for how you've, talked about, my teammates and how we've carried ourselves. But, Tweety's been tremendous. I don't know how, I would be, in this position and thriving without him. I see him as a big brother, especially the fact that he's been a part of Baylor. He loves Baylor. He's played at the point guard position under Coach Drew, and he's a tremendous leader on and off the court, and he's continuously being a leader right now. So just continuing to pick his brains and learning more how to trust my teammates, but study them. Figure out where they like the ball. Have a feel for the game, understanding when guys are hot and how to get them the ball, and just controlling the game like you said. So it's without Tweety and his continuous pointers and his love and pouring into me, I don't know where I would be this year, because there's been some ups and downs. But, having him as well as the rest of the coaching staff pouring into me has been, pivotal.
All right, great. Well, I mean, dude, I've noticed that you're real selective this year with, when you want to just go off for scoring or if you're trying to pass, you're dictating a lot, and that's really, really cool to see. I mean, I love point guard play, so just want to commend you on that. And my last question real quickly, and I'm putting you on the spot. You were a part of, you were part of both backcourts, so which set of guards is better, this year's or 2021?
Excuse me, sorry.
And, that's kind of facetious, but I'm just picking at you more so. But, yeah, man, you if you had to say, which one do you think?
I really can't say right now. Ask me at the end of the season. And then, because I feel like the sky's the limit for our team and, the group of guards we have. We can do some exceptional things, and finish this season strong. But it was a blessing being able to play, with those guys and their maturity, love for each other, how talented they were. You could see that the minute we stepped on the court together. So, shout out to them. I always, thoughts and prayers go out to them in their continuous journey with the game of basketball. But, I do love my guys right now, and I'm thankful for the roles that we have right now with me being the point guard and, LJ growing in his role and Keontae stepping up and being a dynamic freshman he is. And then I can go down the line with Langston and, him, having opportunities that he's having and taking full advantage of it. Then you see Dale out there. You didn't know when his name would be called, but despite that, he went out there and he was ready, so.
Yeah, it's huge. Thank you for the call. Really appreciate it. Emery, we got some more calls?
Yeah, we got Justin.
Hey, Justin. Welcome to the Postgame Call-In Show with Ashley Hodge and Adam Flagler. What's your question?
Hey, Adam, just wanted to say huge congrats for a great game today. Love getting to watch you guys put it to Texas to seal off their seasons in the Farrell Center. So huge congrats there. I didn't get to see the first part of the game. Just heard the announcers talking about how it was a flurry of activity in the very beginning. So I just wanted to see, since you were on the floor, could you tell us what changed? What was the switch that flipped for you guys today?
It was a sense of urgency, I think, as a collective group. Texas, they threw their first punch and, they were rowdy and excited. And we knew that it was a long game. We've been in games where we've been great the first half, and in the second half we haven't. So we wanted to focus on knowing that it was a long game and executing throughout the whole game. And I felt like we did that at a high level, especially on the defensive end. Once we got back in transition, they had so many easy buckets at the beginning of the game. Once we got back in transition, and we're able to be physical and, active with the ball and just moving our feet and everything and being, connected. It really was a change of momentum at the end of the day. It was a real shift, and you could feel it, you could see it, and the fans were tremendous and just having our back and not giving up on us and just cheering us on as we try to get out of that drought that we were in initially.
I remember last year.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Adam.
Hey, thank you for the call. Appreciate it. Last year I had you and James in after the Texas win, and I remember you said that, they talk a lot, and especially early in the game. Was it the same way today?
Oh, yeah.
Do they talk the most trash of any team that you play?
Yeah. To be honest, especially this game, they were real rowdy and, flexing in front of the bench and talking a lot. But I'm thankful for my teammates and, how we responded, because that just really prepares us for anybody that we play against. And, they're a competitive, talented team. And, we wanted to protect home court at the end of the day because, they had the first win. And, we had an opportunity to redeem ourselves. So.
Front runners, have you ever heard that word before? You don't have to respond.
Yeah, they've been doing really good this year, man. And I got respect for that team.
Yeah, they're good.
How hard they
They're
play,
good.
and we just wanted to, finish out the series the right way.
That call on you in the first half, the block charge was so bad.
Yeah,
it was so bad. Oh man. All right. I got a few questions for you. Do we have some more calls, Emery? Okay.
Not at the moment.
254-339-1122 is the number, but we have a lot of message board questions for you. What advice, this is from Scotty B, the Baylor King, what advice would you give to incoming freshmen about playing in the Big 12?
The advice that I would The advice that I would give is to embrace it all. There's going to be ups and downs, but you have to be real with yourself at the end of the day that you are playing the best of the best. You're playing grown men that, have opportunities to play at the next level, but they've been, in these battles, and I know that you're new to it, but, being a part of the Big 12 is only going to have a big, big impact on your game. And as long as you embrace it and you learn and you continue to study film and trust in your coaches, I think that the sky's the limit. You can see as the season has gone on for a lot of these freshmen in the Big 12, they're making more and more of an impact, including Keontae. So the more you get comfortable, the more you see, what it is and how to adjust to it, I think, you're going to be just fine. But you can't get too high. You can't get too low with this conference, because there's going to be games where it might not be your night, and there's going to be crowds where they're doing everything they can to get in your head, and coaching staffs that are the best of the best too, and then there are players that are the best of the best. So it's a beautiful place to play. At the end of the day, if you are a competitor, you want to play in the Big 12 and compete at this level, but just know that it will be tough, but you have to continue to have your head down and just continue to work and embrace it all.
Yeah, great thoughts. All right, TX Bear BF, do you have a different motivation for a second national championship now that you're the leader of this team? Do you feel more of a responsibility to be vocal and a presence in the locker room than you have the last couple of years?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a different role, especially being a point guard, being a veteran, and being the fact that I was a part of that championship team, and I came back and I had the opportunity to lead these guys. I definitely see it as an opportunity to continue to show my leadership, show that I'm able to run a team, and as well as lead, be a great teammate and push guys and find guys who are hot or whatever it may be. But it's definitely different. I feel extremely grateful, and every time I see like March Madness videos or whatever, I almost shed a tear because it was just an amazing, beautiful experience. But I want to chase that.
In front of big crowds too.
Oh yeah,
because I was there for the last 4 games in Indianapolis, but it's just different. The COVID year was kind of weird.
It was weird, but the funniest thing was you can ask anybody on the team.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't take it back.
Yeah, the bubble. I mean,
the bubble was amazing for us. We embraced it all, and we spent so much time together. Playing basketball on a 8-foot rim, dunking on each other, playing card games, eating, watching the games, because you have that experience to where you play and then you can sit and eat and watch the rest of the games together for the day. And it's just such a bonding experience. So you can take a breath of fresh air once you get past those 2 games for that weekend, because you got another week. You survived.
Right.
So,
yeah, John Jacobs mentioned with David Smoke and Craig and Paul, our radio crew, he said that the 5 days in Kansas this past week, even though you lost both games, and I know, it's a frustrating game for you at Kansas State, you guys just look like you just didn't have that extra bounce in your step that day. But he said it was really good for the team. He said, you came back and he realized that you guys love each other and you enjoy each other. You love playing. And this is the time of year when when maybe teams are splintering a little bit.
Yeah.
He said it just showed him that you guys are all in and you want to accomplish great things. Do you feel like that? Those 5 days in Kansas were helpful from that standpoint?
I definitely, agree. I felt like it opened our eyes. We lost 2 in a row, and sadly it was familiar territory because of the first, stretch when we first got in the Big 12, and we had a chance to respond at the end of the day. It's always adversity and things that happen, but the biggest test to a team and a man is how you respond. So we wanted to respond, for each other and go out there and know that we have the capabilities to be one of the best teams and beat anybody. And we saw that, especially at Allen Fieldhouse, being able to be up 17, against right now the number 1 team in our conference, it just shows that, we have those capabilities as well, to be number 1 and to, excel and go far in this tournament. So we just pride ourselves on continuing to take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
So.
All right, a couple more questions. Oh, we got a call. Let's take the call first.
Yeah, we got True Green.
Hey, what's up, James? How you doing? James is the generous sponsor.
Hey, Ashley, how's it going?
Yeah, how you doing? Thank you for sponsoring this.
Absolutely. Happy to. Adam, congratulations. Thanks for all you do. Just want to hear about the adjustments you guys made with the coaches during the week since the games last weekend.
The adjustment, was more of just communication, both sides at the end of the day. I know the coaches were frustrated with the loss as well as we were, but, they saw something, going on the court, and we saw things that were going on the court. So it was just more of a come-together moment at the end of the day, communicating what we still expect out of each other and then how we're going to get it done. And, we made certain adjustments and, we executed really well, especially on the defense end. We're last in the conference defensively, and we know how, we can be, when we're locked in. So it's struggling to be number one offensively and then be last, defensively. That just shows that we have to put in effort and we have to be connected out there because we have the athletes, we have everything. We have the coaching staff, the schemes, or whatever. We just got to put it to the test and, have each other's back out there.
Yep.
That's great. Actually, one more question.
Sure, of course.
Yeah, Adam, I know that, from game to game, the coaches are throwing different lineups out there based on who's hot, who's defending well, those kind of things. How do you, as the leader of the team, really keep everybody up? They don't know if they're going to get time next game or not. You got guys like Dale that don't play for a couple games. Then today they show up. Caleb's been that way. Josh. How are you keeping these guys ready when they don't know if they're even going to play game to game? Thanks, Ashley. Thanks, Adam.
Yeah, thank you.
I can't take too much credit, to be honest. At the end of the day, I pour into them. I put my time in, as a leader, knowing that I have their back and, just trying to continue to push them to be the best version of themselves and control what they can control. But, we have a lot of mature guys. Caleb with, knowing that his minutes might be cut today for the fact that he came in with the energy and effort and impact that he had in the game, as well as Dale. Dale's been out of rotation for some time now. But you can see the character and the man that he is for the fact that he was able to come out there and it looked like he didn't skip a beat. His energy was contagious, to be honest. So, I just do my part and continue to push them and be a leader and be a friend, to them, in such a tough time. But these are, great human beings, great teammates to have. So,
thanks, James. Appreciate it. All right, Sikkim, Kentucky asks, give us a glimpse into the locker room scene after a win like that. How hyped were you guys?
We were definitely, more grateful than anything.
Yeah.
We were at the moment we were worried about Keontae.
Yeah.
We knew that one of our brothers was hurt and it was out, but at the end of the day, we had to, finish the game and do whatever we could to win the game. But the minute, we were all out of the game, we could tell he had that, face on him, where he was frustrated and he wanted to be out there. Right. And we just wanted to be there for him, huddle around him and know that he's not, alone in this process. And as long as he takes his time and just tries to, get the rest he needs and continue to have faith in God, I promise, he'll be back, ready, ready to make the impact that he's capable of making because he's shown it all season. So,
yeah. All right, Red Bear 07, how many pairs of shoes do you go through in a season? Are there any special shoes for the tourney? You like Kobe's. Kobe's is kind of your go-to, right?
I do like Kobe's. For the first time this year, I've spent a good bit of money on game shoes, to be honest. And, I have a collection of Kobe's that I wear this year. And, I do have a special shoe that I probably wear for the whole postseason. Yeah. I'm excited to bring it out for the Big 12 tournament. It's a rare shoe that I feel like nobody, especially in college basketball, has. So, super excited. It took me a minute to be able to get them. Yeah. I had to go through some loopholes, but when I'm ready, when it's time, I'm definitely wearing them because, I put the time in to make sure I got them. And they're special to me, the meaning behind them. So
that's awesome. Yeah, look forward to those. We got a call, Emery. Let's. Who's next?
Yeah, we got Austin Needle.
Hey, what's up, Austin? Alpha Needle.
Oh, Alpha.
Yeah,
Needle,
Alpha Needle. What's going on?
It's Alpha Needle.
Yeah.
Alpha Needle.
How you doing?
Hey, Adam. Yeah, Adam. First thing, I'm from Georgia, so just wanted to hear your stop around in Duluth, and just wanted to say thanks for repping Georgia so well. And I can't tell you how many Georgia Tech, Georgia guys that come up to me and say, "How did we not sign a guy like Adam Flagler?"
Don't remind me.
I don't know what. Yeah, I know. I'm sure you hear it all the time back home. But anyway, I wanted to also just also say what the first caller said, which was, just thank you for how you carry yourself and the way you represent the school. I have 2 boys that are at Baylor, and what a example you are to them on how to, what kind of man you are and how you carry yourself. And it really, it means a lot to all of us fans. And it's not only what you're doing on the court, but off the court. And we're really just thankful for you and proud of you and thankful for this time that we've been able to experience and share with you. My question, though, is how often do you hear from Maceo, Davion, and Jared during the season? Do they text you after a game like this? And how much do you think are they watching? And what's your opinion like with them during the season?
Oh, man, shout out to them guys, man. But I literally, I talk to Maceo probably, once every 2 weeks. And, we hop on the phone and just, chop it up and, have good times and laugh like the old days. And then Jared, it's funny that you said that. Jared literally texted me after the game, and, was telling me that I was playing, great and continue to, push the team and lead the team because, he was in a similar position, when he was here. And, it was always good hearing from those guys. And then Davion, I was talking to him while I was in Kansas before Kansas State. And, I definitely missed them guys, praying for their journey with this basketball, with their basketball careers. And I know there's some ups and downs, but, I know that God has them, and they've been great in the sense of, continuing to, text and call us and pour into us, especially the guys that, used to play with them. So it's been great, continuing with that relationship.
Great question. All right, this is from Bill Blazowski on the message boards. He says, part 2 of the question about your shoes, it seems like you've been slipping a lot the last 3 games. Is that bad luck with finding wet spots on the court, or is something with your shoes? I noticed you switched shoes at halftime today.
Oh, I actually didn't switch shoes.
Okay.
But I think more of just the contact. Big 12 is very contact game at the end of the day, and there's always somebody riding, nudging, or whatever it may be. So, a lot of times it's hard to keep your footing, but, I've tried to continue to, work and be as strong as I can with my lower body to withstand those, bumps and stuff like that. But, yeah, I wish there were times where I didn't slip, but, it happens, especially how physical of a game it is and, how competitive it gets. So,
for sure. Emory, we have any calls in the hole or
not at the
right
moment?
Now? Okay, great. We got a bunch more questions here. Leisure Bear, first time, long time. Shout out to Dale for staying ready, stepping up big time today. Love the way he plays with tenacity. My question's for Adam. Was this one of the most poorly officiated games you played in recently? If yes, you can just say no comment. And the second question is, what was different today about our defense that made it so effective? And what do we need to do to keep focusing on the intensity on that end of the court? Great game today, Adam, horns down. So if you want to take either one of those questions.
I would say that, the officiating is going to be officiating at the end of the day, but I'm thankful that we were able to control what we can control, at the end of the day. So, the difference, I think this game with just the games in the past, it was a full effort out of all 5 guys on the court to play defense and to have each other's back. There's been moments to where we may be guarding and one guy may do good or 2 guys may do good, but it's oftentimes, I feel like we leave each other on an island out there, and that's not what our defense is supposed to be. We're supposed to always have each other back and be able to rotate and fly around and know that, the next person is going to have your back as well if you have their back. So just continuing to, do that with effort, tenacity and just belief that it can be done. It just shows that, we have the tools. It's just a matter of, taking it today and applying it when we go to Oklahoma State. So,
yeah, for sure. All right, this is Dubikins. Do any of the Canadian national team players still think we're a soft team? That's the first question. And the second question is, how's the health of the team heading into the most important month of the year?
The health is really good, to
Obviously,
be honest.
Keontae,
yeah. Other than Keontae in this past game,
right.
The health is really good. Guys are, taking care of their body, being strong, and making smart decisions. But to answer the question about the Canadian national team, I wasn't able to play, sadly. We had a lot of guys, me, Langston, LJ, John, a lot of guys that were out. The team did a tremendous job. I was thankful I was able to be out there and support them. But you know, where we were then is definitely different from where we are right now, and we're gonna continue to get better. But I really don't know how to answer that question, to be honest. So.
He's trying to get a dig in with the question.
Yeah. So.
All right, this is Polo Bear. He says, Spider-Man was bitten by a spider. What was it like to be bitten by a goat?
Oh man, I want to say thank you to that. That means a lot that you see me in that light. But I felt like at the end of the day, you know, God's given me such, you know, a talent, and I just try my best to go out there and show that, and you know, be as selfless as I can, especially with the role that I have being a point guard. You know, there's moments where I could shoot and try to score and do this, do that, but you know, I just try to make the best plays, you know, for the team, whether that's, you know, LJ, you know, being hot, you know, finding floor in the roll, Keontae, and the list goes down, you know, just trying to make the best play, because I know if I can do that, you know, the energy, the effort on the defense end is going to show, and we're going to be just a better team collectively because we got guys that are thinking about the next person rather than always thinking about themselves. So.
Right. All right, final question on the message board here is, Bear, since 2010, who do you model your game after in the NBA? And aside from Davion, who I assume is the toughest defender you've ever faced on a Baylor team in the last 3 years, who is the toughest defender that you faced on this Baylor team is what they're asking. And then your favorite non-Final Four moment in a Baylor uniform. So, number one, who do you model your game after in the NBA?
Number one, I would have to say, you know, C.J. McCollum. You know, I model my game after, especially, you know, right now with him. You know, he played off the ball a lot initially, you know, with Damian Lillard, and now he's, you know, primary ball handler, even though they have Brandon Ingram and guys that can handle ball. He's a primary ball handler for the Pelicans. So, you know, with coming back this year, that was, you know, my goal, to show that I could play the point guard. And even though I was playing, you know, more off the ball, you know, my whole life. So definitely C.J. McCollum. I love his game. I love how he, you know, went to Lehigh and, you know, did such an amazing job with their run, and me coming from Presbyterian to, you know, Baylor is just a perfect, you know, player, perfect person to, you know, look up to. So
when he came here to the Farrell Center, did you know they came and played?
I've heard stories.
Yeah, I mean, I thought A.J. Walton played as good of a defense as you could play against him.
Yeah.
He still got like 37.
Really?
I think so. I'll have to go back and look at the box score, but he was amazing. Like, and it was like AJ was in his grill. I mean, they might have been playing a box and one.
Right.
I mean, they probably were, you know, just making sure AJ was on him every single possession.
Right.
AJ's a good defender.
Yeah.
All right. So the aside from Davion, who's the toughest defender you faced on this Baylor team in the last 3 years?
In the last 3 years, I would have to say Mark when he doesn't foul.
Right.
Mark when he doesn't foul. He's elite, man, but he's so physical, and you know, he's earned that reputation. So I done went back and forth with him so many times in practice. I'm like, man, that's a foul. He's like, no, that's not a foul. I'm like, yes, it is. So Mark, you know, was a handful with his size, his strength, and his speed. You know, for him to, you know, weigh, I think, like, 250, 240, for him to move the way that he does, like a guard, it was just
long wingspan.
It was just incredible, you know. So definitely would say Mark, you know, was a tough guy to, you know, score on. But, you know, Davion was definitely the top guy. And, you know, he shows that on a nightly basis at the NBA level, even though, you know, I know it's tougher with the skill level and, you know, everything. So
what was the final of that? Was it 176 to 175? I think they played a offensive.
Definitely
against
was
the Clippers. Yeah,
I was surprised, but
he only had like 12 minutes. I mean, so it wasn't like he was. All right, your favorite non-Final Four moment in a Baylor uniform? TCU. That was pretty special.
Yeah, TCU was really special.
At Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State was special last year. Yeah. Even with me not playing, when we beat Kansas at Kansas, my redshirt year was huge.
Right.
It was huge. You know, winning the regular season at West Virginia was very huge.
Well, that was a great game.
It was
offensively.
You know,
man, that was
Jared and Davion were killing. You know,
and Jalen Bridges was killing too, just not in the right uniform.
Right. Yeah. So thankfully we got him over here. But Yeah, so I mean the list goes on. You know, I've had an amazing, experience being at Baylor. Being able to play, under this coaching staff with these group of guys. So
yeah, Emory, we have any more calls? Are we done?
Nope, not at the moment.
Well, Adam, man, once again, thank you so much. The way you represent the program with class. I mean, you've just been a joy for me to deal with over the years, and just appreciate you doing this. It's been brought to you by James Perry and Sikkim 365. You've been listening to a post-game call-in show with Ashley Hodge and Adam Flagler after Baylor's 81-72 win over Texas. Once again, we'll emphasize that's 13 out of 15 against the University of Texas for the Baylor Bears. A pretty dominant streak there the last 15 games. So congratulations. Get your rest for Oklahoma State. We'll be rooting you on for that. And then I know the crowd will be here for your last game against Iowa State next Saturday,
right, yeah.
To close the Farrell out. This will be the last conference game in the Farrell Center. So
yeah, crazy, right?
Yep.
Super crazy.
Sikkim Bears.
Sikkim Bears. Sikkim Bears.